Wednesday, May 21st, 2025 EAC meeting of Radnor Township. Review and approve the minutes from the April 16 meeting. Any comments on the minutes? Okay. Raise your hand if you approve. Unanimous, thank you. Public comment. We have no public here. I just want to say in response to Diana Pope's inquiry about emergency phone charging stations in the case of a township-wide power outage, I think we all received an April 23rd email from Sergeant Chris Gluck from the Emergency Management Coordinator. He stated that basically this building, this room, would be used for residents to have access to the charging stations, air conditioning or emergency heat, as well as free Wi-Fi, board games, and bottled water. So this is really a good rescue center in the event of a power outage. Diana was aware of this email and very grateful to Sergeant Gluck about this.
So Dan, do you think that's communicated? Do you think the residents of the township know that?
Well, that's, yeah, right. I've seen it because I subscribe to the township notifications and calendar. Now, there may well be a phone message sent out, because I've gotten phone messages saying that there is some services or a warning about bad weather, at least, if not also rescue emergency services. So that's a good question. Do you want to ask Melissa, Carol, if just how the township is notified of this emergency center? Thanks. Some announcements came from the township on May 10th. Animal Control had a statement about daytime fox sightings. By and large, the township is not to be concerned about these. It's the time of year when foxes are active mating and pup rearing, and it brings them more out into daylight from their usual nocturnal habits. And if you see a fox, observe it from a distance, but avoid feeding or approaching the fox. Radnor Township Parks and Rec presents its annual Great American Backyard Campout on May 31st at the Willows. Unfortunately, registration is now full, but folks can take advantage of one of the sponsors, Hiking Hound Adventures, offering equipment rentals, camping equipment rentals at a discount. Go to hikinghoundadventures.com for more information, or /Radnor Campout 2025 for more information. Eco Camp with the Delaware County 4-H and Willows Park Reserve. Registration is still open for August 4th to 8th. And it's for ages 5 to 7 years of age. Information, again, can be gotten at the Willows Park Preserve website, and registration link is there as well. Okay, ongoing business. Radnor Township was awarded a LSA statewide grant of $400,000 for the purchase and installation of 8 charging stations at this facility. This award was done in 2022, and now at least one electric charging station has been installed at the municipal building here, and it's visible in the parking lot. And it will serve the current fleet of 5 electric vehicles, 2 F-150 Lightning multi-purpose vehicles, a Chevy Blazer, special purpose vehicle, Chevy Equinox, and a Chevy Blazer. I think these are all operated by the police department. What's really exciting is that not only is going to be the roof on this building and the Public Works building being replaced and insulation upgraded, but also solar panel installation will occur at both buildings, the Public Works and the Township building. The projects are going out for bid and anticipated to be awarded in July, and they are expected to be completed by the 4th quarter of this year. Our speaker is going to talk tonight about these in more detail, but there will also be upgrades to the interior environment of these buildings, especially this building. Okay, the annual EAC plant giveaway on April 26th. Does somebody want to give a briefing on that and how it went?
I think it was a success.
Yeah.
We had 225, I think 200 households roundabout came out of 225 that signed up. And it was very fast and efficient. The handouts roundabout over 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we should repeat it next year. Or
Great.
Yes, I would agree. I think Sven's ideas were incorporated into this year, and I think it was just the whole program, the way we gave out the plants in the bags made a lot more sense than having to repot them, that only to have that be thrown away, and just picking them up. They didn't even have to get out of their car. They just came, circled around.
Yeah.
And got how many per bag? Was it 7?
10.
10.
Yeah.
10 per bag. And we
Yeah.
had a good turnout, and it was raining.
That's right. What about New Moon Nursery? What are your impressions?
I think it's a wonderful nursery. I mean, the plants are really healthy. I think the price is pretty good, around about $1.40, $1.70 a plant.
Uh-huh.
And everything was ready for us when we picked it up.
Yep.
And I think it was also a good idea to drive there, and thank you, Dan, for donating the pickup truck.
Yeah, I wasn't even sure if we needed a pickup, but I think we did.
Yeah, we needed
Given the volume.
We need a much bigger pickup truck next time.
Yeah, 2,000 plants.
Yeah, and but that avoided, of course, also a lot of packaging waste.
Yes. Yeah.
I have a question. So there were 225 that signed up and 200 given away. So what happened to the other 25?
So we gave all the remaining plants. We either distributed it among ourselves who were there, and I gave it to neighbors and people up and down the street where I live.
Terrific.
And Bess took around about 500 plants.
About 300, I think.
Or 300 plants to her school project.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
You say school project, you mean?
Wayne Elementary
Excellent.
and a little bit to Ithan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Terrific. Thank you.
Okay, so we may, at the end of coming into the next year, we may lobby for an increase in our budget to accommodate purchasing on that level number of plants.
Yeah. What we didn't do is ask Melissa about how many actually wanted to sign up. Because I think last year when we had 2 plans per household, it was 350 people that signed up. And that resulted in 2 plans per household.
Yeah,
Now we limited it to 225, so I suspect there might be many more people that would like to get plans. Yeah.
okay, so you're thinking something more than 4,000 for next year? to
Yeah, I
purchase?
think I would go back to Melissa and ask her, can we find out how many people actually tried to sign up and it was already closed? I don't know if this is registered, but I would just take the risk of opening up to maybe 100 household more. And if we have plans left over, we, again, will just hand it over to the school projects.
Can we also do a follow-up with the people who did get them to see how's it going? You know, did they thrive and that sort of thing, and maybe some pictures?
Yeah, we wanted to do that. We actually designed also on the spot the survey that we wanted to do while giving out the plans.
Yeah.
But then we learned that the Township Commission, I think, has to approve the survey. So we have to go through this cycle before we can do it. But we now have all the emails of the
Right,
people,
okay.
of course, who signed up. It would be easy to send them a follow-on survey asking about the plants, where they planted them, what happened to them.
Yeah,
and
did
what
they
they're interested in.
thrive? Did they, you know, some
Yeah.
pictures would be great if they're.
Yeah.
How long will it take to know if they're doing well? If the plants are doing well?
So my hypothesis, they're doing well because we got a lot of rain.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
planted mine and they're doing very well.
Yes.
Yeah, I also planted 10 and they are doing pretty well. But let's follow up because I think in a month or two, some of them will bloom. I think the pestamon should bloom actually right now, and then we can have some pictures.
Great.
Yeah?
So I'm hearing 2 action items. Sven, you mentioned contacting Melissa to see if you could find the number of people who attempted to register but couldn't. I don't know if that's possible. And also following up with those who registered with email addresses to see how the plants are doing.
Yeah, we can do that.
Do you want,
I will do that. Yeah,
you want to do both? Okay,
I can do both.
okay,
And-
thank you.
And Dan, excuse me, I can add pictures of how the plants are doing at the elementary schools,
Great.
because that'll be fun.
That'll be
Yeah.
terrific. And did the students help plant them or?
There have been a few families that have come out. We've had 1 work day so far, and we have at least 1 or 2 more work days
Okay.
ahead of us.
That's a great
So-
project.
It is. It's-
Yeah.
It's been great.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We could post the picture do you have follow-up things in the Radnor notification email? Is that, I mean, kind of a
Do I, or do you mean to the different?
Yeah, I mean, to get the most visibility.
Right.
To have it go through the official Radnor monthly notification would be great, but I don't know if it's done.
So that would probably be, I guess we'll ask Melissa what they do.
Okay.
Also might be a nice idea if Wayne Elementary and did that as well. I love my constituents to see their kids planting stuff and
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
okay.
Maybe the school district, they might have a little 2 cents in there.
Okay, so Bess, you would do that? Okay, thanks.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
And of course, they would know that the planting of the stuff at Wayne Elementary came through the EAC. That would be a nice thing to add in there with all the other great work that you do. Just saying.
Great guys. I mean, there's a lot of interest in this whole idea of going back to native plants, and as attested by the turnout for our last EAC lecture by Willistown Conservation Trust. Okay, now there has been talk about an EAC community survey that we just briefly mentioned. And I know the 3 of you, or 1 of you, has instigated this idea. Have you thought any further about how you want to implement this, or have it okayed by the township, et cetera?
Well, I mean, I think it would be good to know what surveys have done in the past, what has been done in the past.
Mhm.
And so maybe, I think that Sven, you had tree questions, or questions related to trees, street trees, and maybe the Shade Tree Commission has already done this kind of thing. It'd be helpful just to know what is, sort of has been done, what's in the works.
So, yeah, that was the question. Do we have any baseline of previous surveys we can build on?
Wasn't there a survey way back, Lisa?
For the single-use plastic.
Yes, we
Bag ban.
did. Yeah, I'm trying to look back through my emails to see. I think we came up with the questions. I think Danelle would be the person to ask. I think she may have come up with the questions, or at least drafted it. And then we had, I don't remember if we had to get the whole, like, all of the commissioners on board, but it sounds like we do, right? And then Melissa had the township send it out, and we had a deadline for it, and then we were able to go through the results of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, we did need Board of Commissioners approval.
Okay. So.
But
d-
that
so-
wasn't based, that wasn't limited, I think that was more of a like what, it was a survey of what issues I think were important to people. It wasn't plant specific, so this would be a little bit more targeted. But we should go back and find that and see if we've already covered some of this ground, but,
But also just the process.
Yeah.
Sounds like it, we have a good handle on the process at least.
So we now have, of course, 250 emails by people, or 225, who signed up, and who have, in principle, an interest in green gardening. Otherwise, they wouldn't most likely pick up the plants. And I think the idea of the survey was that we establish a baseline about understanding what motivates people to garden and what is their gardening situation. Do they have only a balcony, or do they have really a garden with a dedicated corner, or do they just get started, to get some idea about what the audience is, or the customer base. And then there was a question about the number of plants. How many plants do people actually want to plant? So wildflowers, so that we get a quantitative idea about what we can do over time. So then there was a second set of questions. It was more about tree planting, because my suspicion is there are many more, much more tree care, which means cutting down trees done than trees are replanted. And that was the question. So did you take out trees in your yards in the last years, and how many were actually replanted? And that led to a set of questions about what's your interest to plant more trees, and also the question, what is the knowledge that people have to plant trees on the side of the roads? Because it's also not clear to me whether I, as a citizen, have the right to plant a tree in front of my house at this little green strip between the sidewalk and the street, or is this something that the township has to do or has to permit to do? And I think that was something, an intention about what is the level of education about tree planting and the interest about tree planting in the township. And then there was a third set of questions then about leaf blowers. Is there actually any interest in having a regulation about noise ordinance or limiting the use of leaf blowers in the township?
Now, Sven, are you talking about, this would be a township-wide survey being sent out, not just the 235 who registered?
Ideally, of course, it's township-wide.
Yeah.
Because we now have these, let's say, 225 addresses are most likely already representative for the township, although there's a bias, of course, with the people that came to us. But if we can do a township-wide survey, the better it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think we should talk to the Tree Shade Commission about it,
Yeah.
because I'm sure they also have specific questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I had emailed the shade tree about how many frustrated people there were about a street tree planting.
Yeah.
And I haven't gotten a response. I think when we're ready, we should reach out to them again. Well, this is great. So, Lisa, it was a township-wide survey that was sent out.
Yeah, I think similarly to, remember when they sent out the, well, that wasn't EAC specific, but the township sent out a big kind of planning survey. I think it was kind of similar to that it went out to
Yes.
everybody.
Yes.
Because I'm sure that there's more people that would want to weigh in than just the people that came up to pick up the plants, so.
Great.
Yeah, so I think if we get the survey ready, we can send it to Melissa and then ask her to, get it in front of the commissioners to approve
Right.
it. And then she can help us, figure out the technology for sending out the survey and
Yeah.
getting the responses back. And, yeah, it sounds like you've already kind of thought through what the questions would be. So.
And it sounds like it's informational as well as asking questions, because
Yeah.
with regard to street trees, it's true, many people may not know that you can ask the township to have a tree on your street. And also cutting down trees of a certain size. I think within the confines of the township, you have to seek permission to do that, if it's a live tree.
Well, that would be separate from the survey, though. I think we need to probably have
Right.
send an email to Shade Tree to get
Yeah.
clarification on those two things. But then the survey, once we have that information, we can change the survey as needed. Would you want more trees, planted on your street if that
Right.
was an option? And
Right, Sven was asking, how many trees have you removed or plan to remove?
Right.
It just would be a one-liner saying.
Okay,
you
yeah, that's fine.
need to have permission.
I think if we want to have a discussion with the township, it's always good to have some quantitative base and some evidence that people actually care about it,
Yeah.
and we can quantify it, rather than saying we want more trees. How many trees are this actually? And I believe people would actually plant more trees in front of their house if you remove all the barriers that they might have in their head to do that. Most people also don't have no understanding what a tree actually costs. It's actually not that expensive, depending on the size, and so on and so forth. So I think it would be a good starting point to work with.
Great.
Well, just in terms of the steps, would going to the Shade Tree Commission meeting, one of their meetings, and presenting it there be one way of going about it? Or do we need, or just emailing them? Would that be sufficient?
I always like emails just to
Yeah.
clear the air
Right.
first.
Okay, that sounds good.
Is the shade tree, are they a council too of the, so they're like a,
Yeah, they meet.
They were
Tuesday nights.
behind the street tree planting
okay.
program.
But they follow the same guidance that we do as a council in the Radnor, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we
But
should
not the Conservancy. The Conservancy is not part of the
Right.
No.
That's a nonprofit,
separate organization.
yeah.
Yeah, but the Shade Tree is another advisory council like us, so we should coordinate, because they might have questions. Maybe we could do a joint survey if they want to, they might have similar questions, or they might already have the answers to some of these questions related to the trees. But if we want to make tree planting, part of that, we should definitely pull them in and collaborate.
So I'm also wondering, so I get a weekly newsletter from the Parks and Rec Department. I don't think, I'm not aware of a Shade Tree Commission newsletter or an EAC newsletter. I mean, can we submit something to the Parks and Rec newsletter and make it somewhat of a joint newsletter?
Why not?
I think our updates come, is it through the Parks and Rec? I think it might just be, there's like a township letter too,
Township
that's
letter.
not just Parks and Rec.
Right.
Okay.
Is that
I think
right?
I need to
Yeah.
get that. I need to get on that list.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
on the township,
Township
like
newsletter.
our EAC lectures are on the township
Okay,
notification.
okay, super.
Weekly notification, I think it is.
So I just want to make sure I understand. So the things that you're talking about, you're going to come up with a questionnaire and then submit it to the commissioners for,
Yes, after consulting Shade Tree and just.
well, that's just about the trees. There are other things that you had just talked about.
Yeah,
And they will be separate questionnaires?
No, we should do one questionnaire that covers everything.
if we can keep it manageable, and, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it sounds like we would cover a few different things.
Topics.
So interest in leaf, phasing out gas leaf blowers to see what, to gauge whether that's something the township people are interested in.
Yes.
Questions about native, planting and trees. I think we should maybe have a catch-all where people can write in what are some other concerns that you have that are environmental concerns that we might, in case someone has a burning question, desire to
Right.
discuss something, but they've never come to a meeting. But I don't think it would be a very long survey, right? It would,
No, we've thought about something like 10 questions.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to have it too long,
yeah.
then people drop off after question 8 or so.
Yeah.
And then I think, if I remember correctly, the township has a way to collate the data for us, right? So we don't have to go through the responses. They'll tell us this many people responded yes or no, right? I don't know. This is probably a question for Melissa.
It is a
'cause
question for Melissa.
I don't know, but I
The
feel like that's what
process.
happened last time, is that someone who knew what they were doing technologically was able to cull through those.
Right. Okay, so maybe Sven, you could ask Melissa while you're getting the emails of the
I wrote it
registrants.
down, yes.
Thank you. Okay. This is great. Information. All right, public education. We are having our last EAC lecture tonight of the spring season, Economical Environmental Benefits of Municipal Building Energy System Upgrades by Marika Seltzer-Williams of Practical Energy Systems at 7 o'clock tonight. In the fall, thanks to Bess, we have a presentation by the Philadelphia Orchard Project by Phil Forth entitled Creating and Maintaining Edible Landscapes. That's September 16 at 6 p.m.
Excuse me, Dan, I'm waiting to hear back from the library because they were going to do a fall lecture, and I asked them for the dates.
Great.
And that lecture with Phil is Forsyth.
Oh, Forsyth.
That's going to be virtual.
Yes, okay,
Okay.
okay. Sorry, Phil. And on that note, future EAC lectures starting tonight will continue to be presented at the Township Building, but also will be live streamed via Zoom. So the public will be able to ask questions of the presenter via the Zoom chat feature. Okay, our publication, the Radnor News Community Newsletter. We have a pending summer publication entitled the EAC Eco-Friendly Yard Program. Bess, you want to follow up and talk about that?
Oh, sure. So that is, that has been submitted, and talks through the criteria for winning an eco-friendly yard award. And so that's another conversation between Sven and me, going back and forth about the eco-friendly yard program. So
Yep.
there's also a map that's been included with the help of Margie and Donnell and Dan. We were able to locate the 25 yards.
Yeah,
so
that's
you can
great.
see approximate location. So
And
Okay.
Ed Watson at Franklin Maps didn't balk at the size of the article?
not yet.
Okay.
Yes, so I haven't heard back from him about that yet, but
Okay. Well,
I'll check in with him.
let's hope he'll
Okay.
give us the coverage, the
Yeah.
footage. Suburban Life, there's a pending article in this late spring, I guess now. It'll be Sven's and Bess's and Carol's presentation, article, Go Wild in Your Backyard, Square Foot by Square Foot. So that, do you want me to follow up with, let's forget his name, the editor? I can follow up to see how that presentation, how that publication is going.
I think we sent him everything he
You did?
needed, yeah.
Okay. I go online occasionally to see if any of our stuff has made it, and I haven't seen anything yet, except for Diana Pope's Ivy, Danger to Trees piece. So I'll check. Now, the eco-friendly yard program, in terms of activity, I know we had one awardee in April.
Yes, so I'm going to be meeting with her on Friday
Okay,
with Beth.
great. Anyone else getting inquiries?
Well, were they coming in through, we used to get like a group email, but I haven't seen any lately. How are
No.
people responding?
I presume they address the EAC website. That's a good question. How it's posted on the EAC website, I think it says contact radnor.org or
Okay.
radnoreac.org. I don't talk to myself, so I don't know the full email. Do you know?
Yes, that
Kathy?
should be it. It should, oh, sorry.
No, I'm sorry, I missed your question, sorry.
Just what, if somebody were to email the EAC directly, would it be radnoreac.org? Or,
Isn't that your email address?
EAC@radnor.org, and then
Okay.
it goes to all of us.
Yeah.
okay. All right, well, I'm going to just confirm,
How did you get it, Beth?
This was actually, so Margie sent me this.
Okay.
This.
Right.
Yeah, she forwarded this
'Cause
interested person.
we used to, when we started, we would get it, we were getting the requests, and they would come to all of us, and then Marjorie would say, who wants to deliver this? But I haven't seen an email
Yeah.
like that in a long time,
right.
which is unusual.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to follow up with Margie and the website, just to make sure that there is a way people can ask for a visit.
Let me just comment on something on the noise ordinance, limiting the use of GLBs. It's a creative idea, it is. But it's also a question of enforcement, like how do you enforce it? So you have to sort of keep that in mind. It is probably the thing that bothers most people, is the noise.
Right. Yeah, we're going to talk about this, Kathy. I was just going to go through the various approaches of doing this that have been on the agenda for the past 3 months, I'd say. The first one is wait for advances in battery technology. Well, I have an advertisement here from Ego Power, their commercial backpack leaf blower, and it develops 800 cubic feet per minute, airspeed of 190 miles per hour. Some gas blowers I know can deliver well over 200 miles per hour wind, and that's often what is lacking in a user's consideration of an electric blower. It's just not powerful enough. And the runtime is 200 minutes on low, 50 minutes on high, and 40 minutes on turbo. Well, 40 minutes on turbo would be what a gas blower probably does. And a gas blower can operate for over an hour on a tank full. So both power and longevity is an issue with electric blowers if you're going to go need a backpack level of performance. Now, Carol, yeah, you were action to look up noise ordinances in neighboring municipalities. And what did you find?
Well, I didn't find much. I had to leave the state. And the best one, and I think, did you send it out?
Yes, I'd sent it to everybody.
Is Montgomery County, Maryland, where they have a very, well, they had a staged rollout, but basically, after July 1st, 2025, handheld backpacker walk-behind gas-powered leaf blowers and vacuums may not be used.
Yeah.
Retailers will be required to provide notice to customers about a forthcoming ban. And basically, if violators will be charged $500 for the first offense and $750 for subsequent offenses.
Wow. And this is county-wide, which is, I think, the holy grail in terms of
So how long did that take?
scope.
How long did that take to roll out?
I don't know, I just went online looking for, noise ordinance. I'm not sure, we could investigate and
Yeah,
talk to
Yeah,
them.
there are a lot of resources through this, the Leaf Blower Coalition
Yeah.
that we're,
I looked at the website, and it originally came out in 1998, and it was a diminished version of what is currently going to be in place in July.
But
So,
there's also, Dan, I sent out this infogram,
yes,
and the sample I gave was of Philadelphia County, and I think this would be a good start. Did everyone see this?
no, and
Yeah.
I don't think, I don't see,
yeah,
was that that wasn't in the printed material?
that was in her,
I think
In
it
the
Carol,
was-
email?
It was
Carol's
an
email.
email. Did you see this?
You sent it to Enviro, didn't you?
I think you sent it out to everybody, but it was in an email.
Right, okay. You sent to me, and then I
You forwarded.
commented on it, and
So
I
I-
think I sent it to everybody.
I mean, we could do this for,
That was the 20th of May,
I
I
guess
sent.
the question is, Philadelphia, Delaware County, how we would do it? Can we put one up on our website? It's just really informing people about,
Right,
I just don't want people to think that we're going to start fining people.
right,
this-
that's,
This is just an infogram talking about the impacts of gas-powered leaf blowers and lawn equipment on air, climate, noise. So it's information
Oh,
on
okay.
what they do.
yep,
Yeah, and it looks like this was created by Penn Environment, and they've been kind of leading a larger discussion for groups like us who are interested in, kind of at the starting point like we are
Right.
of determining whether this might be something what we want to move forward on. And I think education, and we can send this to you. Was she on the email? the commissioner.
Yep, there,
And I don't think you were on this email. We
No,
can
I don't think
forward
so,
it
'cause
to you.
this is news to me, so.
But this is
okay.
just, impacts of gas-powered leaf blowers on air, climate, noise,
yep,
some discussion of the pollutants that are released by gas blowers, and that PA is ranked the 4th worst in the US for PM 2.5, the 5th worst for VOCs, and the 6th worst for NOx and CO2 emissions. So just as public education, because we're obviously not ready to come up with an ordinance or anything at this point, but I think that this would be a good starting point so that people start thinking about, there's air impacts, there's, air pollution impacts in
Right.
addition to the noise, and that could kind of get the conversation going.
now, a year and a half ago, I had published a piece on gas leaf blowers in the Radnor newsletter. And it's also, the same article is in eco-friendly, earth-friendly tips. So that was, well, by the summer, it'll be 2 years ago that this piece about gas leaf blowers was published. Certainly posting that
Thank you.
would
Thanks.
hopefully remind and get more attention from people. I'm not confident as a township we could go for a stringent ban, and I'm not proposing we do that because it's really not practicable for a commercial company to suddenly have to use battery-operated equipment in Radnor, but then not in a neighboring township. So this was a county-wide ban, and I think that would be the holy grail if we could talk about that. And I've sent emails to the sustainability office and media and have not gotten a response, and that was over a year ago. And I could try again, just what type of thinking they have, if any, about gas leaf blowers. I think I'll do that. But it also would be interesting, maybe by the end of the summer after this final rollout, Carol, by Montgomery County in Maryland, just see how it's going.
Yeah.
Would you like to do that and see if there's a sustainability, well, there's obviously a sustainability office in the town, in the county seat, and see if you can contact them and see how it's going.
Okay.
Great. We wish them luck. Now, I hear Swarthmore may be trying again to phase out gas leaf blowers. I just learned about this at the Penn Environment Gas Leaf Blower Coalition meeting last night. So there are still efforts going on. One thing I also learned at that meeting was that Upper Marion and maybe Swarthmore are considering a seasonal gas leaf blower use that would be restricted to the fall. So you would not be able to use gas leaf blowers any other time of the year except for the fall. Maybe adding 1 month in the spring. I don't know why, but people talk about picking up, spring cleaning with a leaf blower. But this is kind of sounds doable if we get good feedback from commercial landscapers, because they're the ones who are going to face any impact of restricting use of GLBs.
It's actually interesting to because it's Lower Marion is also Montgomery County. So if you are a landscaping company that serves Radnor, we are just next door.
Right.
What do you do now? You can't. Do you have a gas-powered equipment when you cross
Right.
Lancaster Avenue into Radnor, and then you blow with less gas blowers? And
Right.
if you go back to, I don't know, Ardmore, then you have to take your electric leaf blower. So it will be, since it's implemented July 1, it will be interesting to.
This is Montgomery County, Maryland.
Maryland. I thought
Yeah,
Montgomery
yeah.
County next.
No,
I
no,
was
yeah.
hoping it was.
We're
I
sorry
was
about
hoping
that.
it
Maryland.
was.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I take everything back. It was a nice idea.
Yeah, I wish it was Montgomery County.
But they mentioned on that leaf blower caller in the documents that I saw after that, on June 17th, at the Luddington Library in
Right.
Bryn Mawr, there is a landscaping professionals free half-day workshop and demo on electric equipment, where you'll be able to test out
Yes.
electric equipment and learn how to use it, and there's raffle prizes. And so if there are any landscaping companies in Radnor that are listening and are interested, you can sign up and go to that. And it's sponsored by the
Lower
American,
Marion.
the American Green Zone Alliance and Lower Marion, Haverford, Springfield Townships, and Narberth Borough. So,
Yes, I've looked up 10 landscaping companies serving this zip code, and I've called them, inviting them to this June 17th event. Most of the time, I leave a message, even on a rainy day. These folks are working. So I'm going to call again. The whole idea is to get the commercial landscaper representative to be the first invitee to this event, and EAC members and township folks are secondary. Is really to inform them of what electric lawn equipment, not just gas leaf blowers, can do. So I'm all for this. I hope that one of us can attend to get an understanding of what the worries are from the commercial landscapers. Also, it's open to Public Works Department personnel. You signed up? Good. Well, then you'll be our eyes and ears. You're going as yourself? You're not going to share your information with?
Share, but I'm not going as an official designee. So, and if something comes up that I can't be there, then I don't want you to rely on me to be there, so it would be better if.
Okay. Okay, I was being polite with my, and letting other people sign up, but I'm glad you did that, because then I could potentially, somebody could take your place if you can't go. We don't want to waste that slot, right? So let us know if you can't go, and
I think what I'm clearly saying is you should sign up independently of my going. I'm going for my own edification.
Right.
If I can't make it, I can't make it. But the EAC it would be good if the EAC had someone officially go.
right, but there's a space limitation. According to the sponsors, yes, there's a space limitation, and that's why they're favoring the commercial companies first. And then, if there is room, then Public Works Department folks, and then EACs. So I'm glad you did that, Kathy, because just keep in touch. All right. Let's see. So the whole thing that I heard from this Penn environment is the seasonal use of gas leaf blowers. And to me, that seems to be a more easy thing to convince or commercial companies than a ban during the weekend or beds.
I mean, I guess, but if they have to get the electric equipment anyway for one season, I don't know. I
Well,
don't see how,
that would be their choice. What are they picking up this time of year? Okay, they're clearing out beds. Well, why not a rake? And don't be so compulsive to have it pristine like a gas leaf blower would do. Use a rake, clean out the beds, pick them up, like we've done for centuries.
yeah, because that's,
Uh,
not everybody wants that, though.
Well,
you
this
know.
is, saving the earth means a paradigm shift. And this is an example of what we have to do.
So getting back to getting this posted, this infogram posted on our website and then distributing it, what do we have to do? I mean, this would, looks like Penn Environment helped to create,
Yes,
will they do one? And so would we do it for, obviously, we can't do Delaware County, but we could do Radnor Township, right?
right, right.
We could even maybe ask about posting that infographic. Maybe we could link that as an eco-friendly tip or something that goes out.
Yeah.
And then have it up on the EAC part of the,
Well, we
website.
have an eco-friendly, earth-friendly tip already.
no, for the next one.
Okay, oh, you mean published in Radnor newsletter?
Yeah, but wherever, however the best
Okay,
that is, I guess.
Yeah, Carol, maybe ask permission of Penn Environment. That,
Have a contact there?
yeah, Ellie, well, I could do it if you want me to.
If you have a contact.
Ellie,
So we would
just-
want it because maybe they know our ranking. They have a ranking over here.
Oh, really? Of
So we, you know,
the township ranking?
well, I don't know. If not, we'll have to leave. We could do we could do a Pennsylvania ranking. We don't have to take it down to the township if we don't.
And we might have that information, but, okay, I could contact Ellie Kearns. She's the contact at Penn Environment. And
Okay.
see if we can post that in the Radnor newsletter.
And then on the website, just have it. And
On
hand
the
out
website where, like
the EAC website,
Earth-friendly tips?
yes.
Replace what I have there with this. Okay,
And then we hand it out at the Fall Festival.
yep. Okay. All right. We should retain all of those suggestions for the Fall Festival. That's a very good idea, but we don't want to forget it. Yeah. All right. Okay, we're narrowing in here. Let's see. Yes. Okay, just new business updating our EAC website. There was a request from Laura Luker of Birdtown, Radnor Birdtown, to advertise the Birdtown, PA Bird Beat newsletter on our website. There is conversation between Amber and Laura on this matter. Amber of Radnor Conservancy on this matter, and stay tuned. Native Perennial Seed Library. Carol?
Well, it's up and running. If you haven't been into the library to check it out, please check it out. They've done a very nice job. We handed out the flyer at the native plant giveaway, so we distributed about 200, and it did drive people into the library.
Good.
So spread the word.
Yep. Good. Garden Nature Club at elementary schools.
Yes, so Lisa Hallowell, Mira Shapiro, and I applied for a Radnor Educational Foundation grant for a book collection for all of the schools in Radnor Township. And so I'm pleased to report that we were awarded $2,500
Yeah, right.
for this book collection that will help for curricular changes in the science curriculum. So, they're transitioning this summer to the new science, technology, and engineering, environmental literacy, and sustainability standards, which is called STEELS for short. And so that includes a new domain or a new curriculum framework that's on environmental literacy and sustainability and stewardship. So this book collection is going to be geared towards that side of the science standards.
Good.
So
And all public schools in Radnor Township?
that's right, all 5 schools.
Okay. All right. Congratulations,
Yeah, thank you.
both of you. Aronimink Golf Club, clear cutting 9 acres for a temporary PGA broadcast center. I haven't been out Darby Paoli Road, which is just west of the Willows. Has anyone been out there to see if? Trees are still there. The trees are still there, okay. Okay. Well, stay tuned. And no updates on recycling and waste management in Radnor Township, from my end at least. Okay. Use and generation of electricity from solar and wind energy. Well, the slides that I showed you at the previous meeting, I want to briefly discuss with you at a future meeting just how to get the word out to encourage use of renewable energy certificates. And maintenance of rain gardens in the township. Tammy Cohen emailed me on May 13th, and she said work is underway restoring the 7 rain gardens in the township, 4 at Clem McCrone Park, and the 3 here at the Township Building. She would be happy to set up training for maintaining the rain gardens when the time comes for us to, and we need to really mobilize a program, not just an effort, for long-term maintenance of these rain gardens. So unfortunately, that we don't have time to discuss this further, but again, please think about this. It would be very likely with Radnor Conservancy and, I don't know, Darby Creek Valley Association, folks who are really concerned about uncontrolled runoff. One thing that was brought up at our plant giveaway was rain barrels. And I'm thinking of building my own rain barrel. This is something that could be included or separate from the native perennial plant effort, just describing why you would want them and how to get them. Even direct them to a website where you can build one if
So,
you're
Dan, I
industrial.
have a question about rain barrels and standing water
Mhm.
and mosquitoes. How do you, because the mosquitoes have become such a problem, and if you
Right.
have, and you're supposed to like not have any standing water
Right.
on your property. So how do you get around that?
Well, that's a good question, and I've given you so many action items, so I don't want to ask you to do that, so.
As long as
I'll-
you,
Ask any more questions?
as long as you aerate it frequently, the mosquito larva cannot survive.
Yep,
Like if
yeah.
you pour the water out and new water forms, that's fine. The rain barrel is covered.
Right.
So I don't know, I've never had a rain barrel, so I don't know if it would be a problem, but I think if you're emptying it regularly or even
Yes.
stirring it regularly, it should not.
It sounds like a website. I mean, something like that, I'm sure is on a website, and I'll
Yeah,
look it up.
there's really, it's pretty, it's not simple, because there's always like, standing water can be really small, but,
There is something like a tablet that you can buy. This Professor Tellamy from the University of Delaware recommends it. You just put it into your water, and it is a natural control of
okay, great.
the larvae.
Oh, it's a bio.
It's a biocontrol. It's some kind
Mhm.
of bacteria also that will eat them.
Okay.
Yeah.
According to the website, they can become a breeding ground for mosquitoes. So you put a screen, fine mesh to prevent adult mosquitoes from entering, tightly fitting lids, smooth surfaces, opt for barrels with smooth tops.
Ian, our guest is here. Yeah, no, I understand. Thank you, Marika. Yeah, everyone, I think, what's the budget balance on the agenda? And it's self-
2020.
Yeah, it's self-explanatory.
Yeah, 2025 with
Okay,
200
so-
pending expense.
All right, no public comments, so meeting's adjourned. 7:05. Ian,